Still fresh on the Nigerian economy are the scars of the banking crisis that overwhelmed the nation last year. Lack of transparency and mismanagement within the banking system revealed that several bank CEOs were to blame, covering up bad loans and toxic assets, among other offences. Following the discoveries made by the CBN, it was clear that new measures needed to be put in place in order to reduce accounting manipulation and provide higher comparability. The CBN therefore opted for the strongest global standards of transparency in financial reporting, IFRS. The CBN has mandated that all Nigerian banks migrate to IFRS by 2012.
That many of these changes are necessary for the emergence of an efficient financial system that will support the kind of long-term and equitable economic growth that must fuel Nigeria in the 21st century. I am delighted that operators in the financial sector have embraced the essential reforms in the banking sector and in the capital markets, and indeed see these as opportunity to build a strong and sounder financial sector that is able to compete with the best in the world.
Access Bank, one of the first in Nigeria to adopt IFRS, held a conference in the nation's capital to further sensitize Nigeria's financial stakeholders.
Over the past 4 years, we have hosted annual international conferences around an issue that is topical to Nigeria's economic development. I think that this conference on international financial reporting standards is probably the most important. Nigeria is fast becoming one of the economies that the international financial community is dealing with, either from an investment perspective or as a counterparty. And the international business community has adopted what are called international financial reporting standards under the supervision of the International Accounting Standards Board, to guide how reporting entities basically handle their financial and accounting issues. What you find is that where a country and its reporting entities do not adopt IFRS, the rest of the world finds it a bit difficult dealing with it. And I can assure you that if Nigeria wants to be one of the leading economies by year 2020, I think IFRS adoption will be a key catalyst in that regard.
The aim of the conference was to stimulate discourse among stakeholders about Nigeria's readiness to adopt IFRS.
We at the Securities and Exchange Commission absolutely believe it's essential for our country to adopt IFRS. The reason being that it allows investors, both international and local, to appreciate that we operate according to best practice. As we're building a world-class capital market, it's extremely important that our financial statements are comparable, that we abide by best practice, that we abide by the principles of transparency and good corporate governance. And international financial reporting standards, which has been adopted by more than 100 countries around the world, abides by those principles.
There is no disputing Nigeria's need for drastic change in its reporting standards, especially after the recent saga in its financial sector. However, there has been some debate as to whether IFRS is the best choice. And as December and the migration deadline draw nearer, local banks will soon find out if indeed it was.